Romanian prosecutors have indicted Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan on charges that include human trafficking, rape, and exploitation. Prosecutors say Tate and his brother recruited victims by seducing them and falsely claiming romantic interest.
I just wanted to see what the definition of human trafficking was. The unlawful act of transporting or coercing people in order to benefit from their work or service, typically in the form of forced labor or sexual exploitation. They have now indicted him. The grand jury has found enough evidence to formally indict the Tate brothers, and now they're going to go to trial. So what that means is they found enough evidence. So when I say evidence, I'm not saying that I don't think that there might be some nefarious things going on behind the scenes to manipulate the evidence, but what I will say is that's kind of damning, or kind of telling that at the very least.
Even before he got arrested and this whole situation happened, he always said, first, they ban you from everything. He got banned from TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Second thing, they tried to imprison you for something. And then the third thing, they try to kill you.
The only reason I'm upset by being canceled is because I've expired one of my lives. Because first you get canceled, then they make up a reason to put you in jail. And if that fails, they kill you. So now I'm down to my last 2 lives.
At this point, because he's so big, I don't know if they would ever try to kill him because he would become a martyr at that point. And I know they really don't want that to happen.
I really personally don't believe that the Tates human trafficked in the way that I typically envision it. Like if I see a movie about human trafficking, normally it's very gritty. They have like a bunch of women chained up in the back of a van, transporting them across like state lines. I'm like, that's sex trafficking. That's crazy. That's terrible. But in this case, they're saying that they used the lover boy method, which I had never heard until I even learned about the Tates. But this essentially is they lure the person or the people into doing the work for them. It's not necessarily by chaining you up and then locking you in a room and then having these rich people come and pay to do what they want with you. Like in the movie with Liam Neeson, whatever that's called. Taken. That's why I usually thought about sex trafficking.
That's what I think about it too.
Right. But according to this, there's the lover boy method, which is also considered sex trafficking, where you seduce them, make them fall in love with you, and then you use that influence you now have over them to get them to do what you want.
We know there are 7 alleged victims who are allegedly recruited by false promises of love and marriage by the 2 Tate brothers. The charge of human trafficking is an umbrella charge, and within that there are several counts against each of the 4 defendants. And we're told that there are separate charges that are still under investigation that may be the subject of a separate indictment in the future, and they include money laundering, influencing statements, and trafficking of minors.
My thing is, like I said, we previously did a video on Tate, and during that video, I'm going to echo the same things. In the kind of industry that they work, which is what? They do webcam, right? They do webcam.
They did.
Or they did do webcam. In an industry like that, it's hard to tell, like, what exactly would you... Because think about what happens in webcamming. The person's naked. Some people have weird fetishes where it's like, oh, I want to see you hurt yourself. I want to see you... Like, you know, people have all those kinds of weird fetishes. So I don't know where the line is. Like, was this work or was this after work? When did this take place? Was this before webcam? Was this after webcam? I don't know. Right. That's why I'm saying I can't necessarily say he's innocent, but at the same time, I can't say I think he's guilty, because where do you draw the line?
It's almost like a double-edged sword. Him being involved in that industry is a bad thing because now it's easier to say, oh, it's muddies the water, like you just said.
Yeah, it's like owning a strip club.
Right.
If you owned a strip club, you had a bunch of strippers, and then someone's like, okay, well, you're running a pro ring, right?
Correct.
That's gonna be hard to prove, because guess what? When people go to the back, you don't know what they do in the back of the strip club.
Exactly. However, at the same time, I think it could work in the Tate's benefits if they ran that business, because it gives plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Oh no, we weren't sex trafficking these women. They were legitimately working for us, and maybe now they turned against us for some reason. Maybe they've been paid off. There's reasonable doubt. Versus a pastor gets indicted for this. You're like, pastor pimp. Like now you're like, whoa. There's got to be something here. How does a pastor get charged with something like this? Something's got to be going on.
Yeah.
Whereas it takes, I mean, they already were towing that line with their business.
And I'm curious to what Romanian laws are about that, because what do they consider that? I'm not sure what qualifies as it, because I watched another interview with the Tates, and they said that that's a regular business that goes on there. Not the S trafficking, but the webcamming. Like, that's normal. That's not like unusual thing.
That's normal in the U.S. now too. At this point, with OnlyFans.
Fair.
I know OnlyFans isn't a
Fair.
US based company, but I mean, let's be real.
No, I mean it's
like preface.
you look at a lot of girls' bios, you're like, dang, you got OnlyFans.
Bro, you go to the Instagram pages, you already know it's a soft advertisement for their OnlyFans. A lot of these girls.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. But you bring a good point up. And what I read recently too I had to go to the NPR's website. I'm like, I can't read some of these websites because they're so biased.
Oh yeah, but
so biased.
listen, you go to some of these websites and hate them, love them, whatever your opinion is. If you're gonna report, at least be objective when you report, right? Because you read some of these things and literally the first 3 paragraphs are like misogynist. And it's like, can you just get to the point where like you talk about the case and then they finally talk about the case all the way at the end of the paragraph?
Exactly. And as they talk about it, they're still littering it with woman hater and controversial, which I guess he is controversial.
Yeah, he's definitely controversial.
That's fine.
Yeah, he is controversial.
But woman hater, and they won't even say alleged. They'll just say sex trafficker or whatever. Some of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, has he been convicted? Do I think he's innocent? It's not for me to say. I will say that, was he running a human trafficking organization in the traditional sense, if there is one? I truly personally don't believe he was. Now, was there some other form of what qualifies as sex trafficking that he was doing? Guess we'll find out in court.
I can't decide whether or not it's a bad decision or not because we don't have enough evidence. All I'm going to say is I hope that Tate really didn't do anything.
Right.
And I hope this is just all a big debacle, you know, them just trying to take him down or whatever the Matrix is. Whatever he says, the Matrix, whatever the system, whatever it is, I hope it's that, and I hope he's not actually doing it because if he is doing it, that is some sick bleed. So.
Again, I'll just say that while I think he's innocent, I can't say there's no such thing as 100% innocence. In this case, I think there's shades of gray. In other words, I think that it's very plausible that a woman flew down because they were infatuated and enamored with Tate.
Yeah.
Or Tate's, and they developed a relationship. And Tate's like, "Hey, I have this business. Do you want to do it?" And maybe she was a little reluctant, but she's like, "Oh, I love you. I'll try it." She tries it, and it kind of snowballs. And maybe he used some type of
lover boy method,
leverage or coercion. Not coercion, but what is the thing you do with people when you not gaslighting, but just subtle, soft ways of influencing to do certain things. Now, is that human sex trafficking at that point? Is that sex trafficking? Does that qualify as that? By definition. Because in my mind, again, I'm not saying that any of this is good, but in my mind, that scenario is way different than kidnapping a young girl, taking her back. You see what I'm saying? There's a distinction between the two.
And I find very, very strange that you notice as soon as he starts doing interviews, bam, the indictment happens. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it all those previous months, but then as soon as he starts doing these interviews, talking about all this other stuff like that, boom, right there.
Well, I think he says because they have a time limit they're working on, and they originally in that time.
And they got to find a way to extend him to put him back on house arrest and to put. Okay, got you. Okay, I mean that makes sense. Either way, it's all suspicious to me. You just gonna have to find out, guys. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know if you think Tate is innocent and his brother. All right.